Hi, I'm Matt Giggs and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to talk about how you can sell more. In fact, I've created 4 very simple steps or ways, up to you, that you can sell more by actually selling less. How about that then? So you're probably wondering what we're talking about here. But for me, estate agency isn't about selling. Okay. I'm not going to say any more than that, but I'm telling you now, you're going to really enjoy this because most people that I've worked with over the years hate the thought of hard selling, closing, being pushy, all of that sleazy stuff that goes on in our industry. Now, not everybody does it, but these are the tips and the tricks that you can take away that's going to help you go into more conversations and serve more rather than sell. So I'm Matt Giggs, and before I go on, just a little bit about who I am. So I've been an estate agent for 28 years, an entrepreneur, a business owner, and a brand new trainee at the age of 20, 19 or 20. But look, that's going back in time. Where are we right now? Well, I've sold over £1 billion worth of property. I've got an estate agency group, and I've trained thousands of estate agents across the UK to do it the right way. And that's what we're here to talk about next. So 4 ways you can sell more by selling less. So let's talk about estate agents. What do people think of us? What's the public's perception of estate agency? Yeah, I hear you cry. Trust, I don't hear you say trust. Helpful, I don't necessarily hear you say helpful. What do clients and customers out there, people in their homes, looking on Rightmove, what do they think the experience is going to be when it comes to dealing with an estate agent? Are they going to call back? Are they going to try and push me down a path? Are they going to try and close me into something that I don't want? Sell me a mortgage when I want to buy a house? All of that stuff, right? We have got one of the worst reputations as an industry. And I think in some ways, some of that is actually justified. But I know there's some brilliant agents out there that are absolutely turning that reputation on its head by dealing with people in the right way. And I'm telling you right now that you can be one of them. Because actually, people do not buy desperation. They love confidence. So people don't like to be sold to, but they love to buy. So you are someone that they will buy or not. That's our job. We don't own the product that we're selling. We are the service that they need. But ultimately, if you're there trying to push them down a path, that's not going to work for you. So we've got 4 ways for you to continue to steer yourself back on track and not getting into the sale by trying to take someone to somewhere they don't need. Does that make sense? And I'm going to share some stories actually. I'm going to share a story about a client that her needs weren't met. I hate to admit this, but in my organisation many years ago, a chap that worked for me, a nice guy, he promised a sale that he couldn't deliver on the timeframes that worked for the client. So he made a situation become more challenging because the client needed to complete in a certain amount of time. And that time was essentially going to cost her, if it went beyond that, another £2,000 or £3,000 at the time. So whose needs were we really focused on at that moment in time? Okay, and what actually happened? Well, when it got to 6 weeks and she hadn't heard from this particular individual, it started to be real stress because you're talking about a single mum, really need this deal to complete. That was the reason why she took the offer. Next thing you know, 6 weeks later, not enough communication, no contact really to give them or give her the advice that she needed. And I remember sitting over down that road at Costa Coffee and I opened up my email to this absolute rant, this complaint. And you know, as an agent, if you've got a business or clients that you deal with, that message, that email, whatever that looks like, it can literally turn your stomach. And it did mine. But what could I do about it? What could I do about it? Because at that point, I couldn't change what had actually happened, but I had to take responsibility. It wasn't the guy who works for me. It wasn't his fault. It was my fault that I hadn't really drilled this stuff down clear enough into the people that worked for me, which was to absolutely put her needs first. What did she need? That's number one. So the first step is not what you need, is what do they need? What do they need? If you focus on what you need, that's when you start to drift apart. That's when the problems really need to start. We are here to take someone to their needs. So their needs weren't met. What I had to do in the end is make sure that I spoke to her immediately, which I did. And we talked about her needs and what was going to happen next. And what was probably a great lesson, an expensive one, ended in a great experience, because from that day onwards, that person spoke to her every day, chased the sale, updated her. In 2 weeks' time, it exchanged contracts. And she didn't pay us a fee. I wiped our fee. It was about £4,000 at the time. I wiped our fee. Why? Because that's the right thing to do. We didn't meet her needs. We didn't deliver what we promised. That was the outcome of the story. So you have to take responsibility. In that moment, that was a costly mistake by us and our business. But more importantly, my reputation was at stake as well. So from my perspective, what did I need to do to make sure we got to her needs? So that day, 2 weeks before exchanging contracts, I phoned her up and I said, look, thank you for your feedback. I really appreciate it. And from what I understand, you're going through a stressful time. She was really pleased to hear from me, and I think, in all fairness, she wasn't expecting me to do what I've just described. Because when I did tell her that's what we were going to do for the next 2 weeks or however long it was going to take, we're going to talk to you every day about what's happening. She was delighted with that alone. But that didn't solve her need. This did. And that was the decision that I made. And actually, I heard this lady change almost instantaneously into someone that, I'm sorry, looked at us as a villain, to then suddenly looked at us as a hero. And that's a choice that we've got. That's the power we have as agents to maybe change those situations when you stop focusing on your needs and you focus on the client's needs. So take away that story. Let me push that one aside. I've got loads of positive stories to share with you, but I'm going to give you this structure to take away. So the first thing is, what do they need? The second part is, why do they need that? Because actually, some people focus here on what they want. And wants and needs are very, very different. They're not the same thing. You know, I hear agents talking to new buyers that are registering and they're looking to go and view a property, and what is it you want? People don't buy what they want, they buy what they need, okay? But the most important thing is, why do they need that to happen? So if you're selling a house for a client, why are they selling it? Let's dig into the I suppose the quality and the qualifier of that situation. I want to know what their motivation is, and I want to know what their time frames are, because this is going to help me to build part 3. And part 3, guys, has to only come once you've dug deep into part 2. So you're looking at the motivation. Motivation, time frame. Tell me more. I want to know more about why you're looking to sell your home. Tell me more about what sort of time frame you're looking for. Because I want to understand that, why is that important to you? What is it you're really looking to achieve here? Because at that point, we can establish your goals. If you went into a business today and you didn't understand what their goals were, or what they're looking for to achieve as an outcome, what kind of business are we looking at there? An unsuccessful one, I'm telling you right now. So every client is like a mini business. They've got to have a vision. They've got to have a vision, which is their goal, their desire. I was talking to a client the other day about their sale, and actually they were buying land to build their dream house on. So we talked a lot about that dream house, because the more we spoke about that, the clearer the picture became about why they were moving. And then we can work our way back from there, because as soon as you've got the vision and the goals, you can start to work on step 3, is your solutions. What solutions to get to their goal do you have? Yeah? So So you might not be able to read my writing, which is quite good fun, but I like writing stuff down anyway, right? But solutions is the main point here. You serve solutions. Great estate agents serve solutions. They share the solutions that are going to help that client to achieve their goal. So when you're selling a property and you walk around it with the client, walk around it as if you're a buyer with the client. They're the seller, make them a buyer for a moment. Let's look at the house, let's look at the presentation, let's look at how the buyer's going to see it when they walk through the door. That's a solution. Look at where the buyer is, who's their ideal buyer, where will they be? The clue's normally in the seller, because their circumstances could be the new buyer's circumstances. So once you've established that part of the plan, your solutions are going to differentiate you from your competition, okay? And that's where the connection is really made. So at this stage, I'm not talking about how many awards I've won and how great we are and why you should use me because I've got the cheapest fee or I'm going to put it on for the highest price. That stuff's so boring, guys. People don't give a shit about that. What they care about is what they need and whether you are the one that they can trust to get you there, or to get them there, excuse me. So we're looking about outcomes and solutions in this conversation. What solutions do you offer, and what solutions do you offer that are different to your competition, but it's linked to their outcome? You don't need to close people, guys. You really don't need to close people. And I'll get shot by all these sales trainers. Oh no, you need to close people into decisions. No. If you're freaking great, you don't need to do that because people close themselves. That's the difference. So if you're a sales trainer watching this, that's the difference, my friend. If you think you need to close people, just imagine how that feels on the receiving end. I want people to make the decision about the next step by asking them this question. When do you need to take action to get to your outcome? When do you, not me, need to take action? That's the key, it's the action, right? When do you need to take action to get to your goal? So you think about those 4 steps, they're really simple, but they're not built around you pushing and pressurizing people into something that doesn't fit their timeframes and their needs. Now let's think about the receiving end. Let's turn away from just being an estate agent for the moment. What kind of estate agent would you want to work with? One that's solutions focused? One that's obsessed with you getting you to your goals? Or one that wants to talk about themselves? Talk about their needs? Talk about the fact that they're the best? Talk about the fact that they've got the best fee to offer you or the highest price, which we all know is bullshit, right? You've got to think about what you would expect, what you want. You want to be convinced and confident that who you would go with if you were a client today is how you need to be for your clients today. That is what great estate agency is all about. That's what real estate agency is all about. It's not about that sleazy crap. It's about going in there and being obsessed with getting your client to their goal through your solutions. So those 4 steps are really simple. What do they need? Why do they need it? What solutions do you have? And when do they want to take action? That is going to make you stand out, and those 4 ways are going to help you to sell more properties by selling less. To sell more, you've got to have them. To sell more, you've got to be focused. To sell more, you've got to know what you're doing. And believe me, those clients are going to trust you. It's very difficult to lose a listing or lose a sale if you've won trust. That's where your heart and soul has to go into this job, is trust. And believe me, guys, you're going to smash it out the park if you focus on them, not you. So please, if you like this video, like it. Hit the like button, right? Subscribe to my YouTube channel where you're going to get first access to fresh, new training videos. But also, another thing that you need to do is hit that notification bell. Do you know where it is? Find it there. Okay, there's lots of other things that you can check out of mine. My website, my resources are all in the links below. And then you can keep an eye on the community tab. I've had some fun today. I'm back where I belong in my training room, teaching you how to be a great real estate agent.